I'm Joe Kane.
I'm Sal Conca.
And this is the Imperfect Podcast.
As part of our summer series, we're here on Long Island at Inbeon Con for artists by artists.
We're going to be doing some interviews today with these people here who are very talented and very, very good at what they do.
Go to hecklerkane.com and check out the Imperfect Podcast. Awesome. We're here with Eric Hutchison, creator of Inbeon Con, locally here on Long Island. Eric, thanks for having us in Inbeon.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, so tell us a little about the story behind Inbeon Con. How'd you get started with this?
Dude, it's really weird. I'm originally from New Orleans, and we only moved up to Long Island after Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
So it was a totally new environment. You know, I had a little culture shock. You know, I got Southern hospitality in my blood. So, you know, not waving to people when you pass them, that was new to me. And, you know, for the most part, I just got back into doing computer engineering, which was what my background was in. And after a while of doing like training and, you know, doing my job, making my money and, you know, paying the bills, taking care of my family, there was something missing. And it was that creative spark. My wife actually, when we got married, she didn't know me as an artist. I drew when I was like in high school and that kind of stuff, but you know, everybody feels that they can't make a success out of it. I started building websites for people, and I wound up building a webcomic website for a guy, and he couldn't pay me. And he couldn't pay me because he had just paid for New York Comic Con. And so I was like, well, you know, I'm a creative guy. We can come up with a solution for this. How about some tickets, you know? And he said, yeah. And he's like, you know, if you want to have some art on my table, you know, no problem. So that got the wheels turning again. And I did decide to call a buddy of mine that was still living in New Orleans. We put together a comic book, and we exhibited at New York Comic Con, sold over 200 books.
Yeah.
And I never looked back since.
It's a great example how that whole process could have been a failure, right?
Yeah.
Most people would have been like, I didn't get paid, and they'd go cry in a corner, and you took it into a positive and made it into an opportunity for
Absolutely.
yourself.
It makes a huge difference. After we did that, we started the studio. So Inbeon Studio helps people get independently published. Everything is creator owned. So everybody who makes their stuff or participates in it owns a piece of the pie. And, you know, for the most part, everything started to shift. After we did Comic Cons, like especially like big shows, you know, like New York and Boston and Baltimore, all on the East Coast. We haven't done San Diego yet. But we started noticing, especially with the intermediate shows and that kind of stuff, how they treat artists and how they treat independents. You know, if you're not a big superstar, you know, how you get handled and how you get treated, especially when they need to clear a table out or shove you in a corner somewhere. You know, I mean, it's called Artist Alley, and nobody, I mean, you know, what do we know about alleys? That's where you get beat up and where you get your money stolen, you know?
Exactly.
So a bunch of friends of mine, you know, we just started having these horror stories and started sharing them with one another, and I was like, hey, why don't we do something different? So once again, turning a negative into a positive, we created an artist-focused show. And so we started 4 years ago, and we did it in an art gallery. And we had 20 artists, and I think we had 100 people show up, and we were like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. How did we actually do it? We're big time now, right? A whole 100 people. And I think this year we're doing over 2,000.
Awesome.
So, you know, 4 years later, you know, we more than doubled each year. And just to grow at that level that quickly, to me, especially when a lot of the largest shows are coming down in their attendance, shows that we're building what's important, which is the community behind what it is. I mean, you can, you know, go and see big stars and, you know, having the big experience. We love New York Comic Con. We exhibit there every year, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's important, but the connection and the feeling of actually being able to be part of that community, especially in a local setting, I think is really important.
Yep, supporting local and supporting indie is a big deal for us. It's one of the reasons we have this show and our podcast. And so, Eric, it's really a pleasure meeting you. Where can everybody find you? I mean, we're here in Long Island right now, but where can they go online to get more info for next year?
Everything is on Inbeon.com. So we say 3 little words, Inbeon, and that's pretty much it. Everything connects to our Comic Con, our magazine, our independent books and publishing. And you know, if anybody's out there, if you have something that you're trying to promote or get out there, we interview people, we help promote, because the marketing, I think, is one of the biggest struggles that people suffer from. So our marketing team is really on trying to connect and trying to get everybody, you know, as a collective to do better.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here, folks. Reach out to Eric. He's going to help you guys. So Inbeon Con, don't miss it next year.
We're here with Robert from Experience Unknown, which is a live horror show show that happens once a year.
Yes.
And the Cradle of Aviation.
That's correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your program?
Sure.
And what's going on?
So it's really a state-of-the-art experience, so to speak. The guests start. We believe in full immersion. So actually, our guest story starts the minute you hit the door. You actually get quarantined. You get searched by real security personnel. You have to show a real government ID. Then you get quarantined in the lobby where there's loud lights, air sirens blaring, fog machines. You then go into the darkened exhibit, which is where all the doctors' failed experiments are chasing you. It's actually about 60,000 square feet. It's massive. It's in the dark. It's loud. It's terrifying. When you're done with that, if you make it through, you go into the planetarium. This is where it gets really cool. So 5D, everybody asks what's 5D? A 5D horror show means that everything that you watch on the screen actually pops off and comes right into the audience. So a lot of the characters, the sights, the smells, all of a sudden they'll be on the screen and they'll be 3 feet from you.
Excellent.
It's really cool. And then the cool thing is we always try to make our events unique, unusual. One of my favorite things is being hosted at the Cradle. They have an 80s arcade exhibit. So what's awesome is when our guests are done, the first part takes about roughly an hour to 2 hours. You actually go play video games until midnight for free, and there's a cash bar. So if you're 20 and older, you can have a beer, you can play Pac-Man or Donkey Kong.
It's amazing.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we have a great crew. We have over 100 people working on the production currently right now.
That's excellent. There's a mask here that I have to address. It's in our shot if you're listening and not seeing it. So he's going to give us a little bit of an explanation on this mask here, which is really awesome.
This is actually made by an awesome company called CFX. They make custom silicone masks. His name is Gluttony. He's friendly. He only bites once in a while. But this is just one example of the creatures that are running around in the show, in the darkened exhibits. We actually have approximately about 25 of these. The rest of the actors are done up pretty much Hollywood quality makeup. Yeah. It's a really intense stage show, and our actors go through rigorous training. The thing you'll find different from our haunt is that it's not just a boo haunted house. With ours, our characters actually free roam, so you'll actually come to find that they may trail you for 5 to 10 minutes, and the experience never ends. You'll never find an actor that'll turn around and just boo. You will constantly be surrounded by the experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This event is taking place on September 30th.
Yes,
correct?
it is.
At the Cradle of Aviation in Garden City, New York.
You got it.
We are gonna get back to let you get back to what you were doing.
Awesome.
And it was nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, we're here with Antonio Mastria, Art and Prints. Antonio, what brings you to Inbeon Con?
Just here selling my art and prints. I got original drawings, illustrations, and paintings. Also doing some drawings for people.
Awesome. How long have you been drawing?
Since I was 8 years old, but I've been started doing cons maybe about a year ago now.
Okay, very cool. I mean, we saw some of your terrific artwork. You had stuff with Predator, and what's some of your favorite pieces that you've done?
Some of these superhero comics characters I've done here. I've got these large prints here. I've got Batmans of like all the movies and film Batmans. I got a print of those that I like.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
Are you here local on Long Island as well?
No, I'm from out of town. I'm from Middletown in Orange County in New York.
Oh, okay. Still a New Yorker though.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online? You have a website, social media?
I'm on Instagram, Antonio Mastria _art.
Awesome. Antonio, everybody's going to love your artwork. We can't wait to see more from you. Thanks for chatting with us. We're here with Regine Sawyer at Inbeon Con from Lockett Productions. You were just on the panel inside. Welcome. What's your experience been like at Inbeon Con so far?
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a great time. This is my first year coming. Okay. Although I've known Eric for a while. Eric Hutchison, who's doing the show.
Yeah.
And I'm having a wonderful time. It's a great show.
Awesome. So tell us about Lockett Productions. What's your specialty?
My specialty is science fiction. I love sci-fi comics, especially outer space. So that's my biggest thing. And then recently I got into horror. I have several books under my belt. I've been around for a little bit. So.
Awesome. Very cool. And I know you also do something with women in comics. What's that all about?
Yes, I have an organization called Women in Comics Collective International. And it's an organization that focuses on women working in the comic book industry and propelling them forward, helping them brand themselves, helping them get their work out. We do workshops, panel discussions, the whole gamut.
That's awesome. Love it. You're a real marketing workhorse. I love it.
I try. I try.
So where can the good folks at home, where can they find you online? Give them a website, social media, where you at?
Sure. You can check me out at lockettdown.com, LOCKTT down.com. Also, womenincomicscollective.org. I'm on Twitter at lockettdown. at Women in Comics NY. Instagram, RS Lock It Down. You'll find me.
Gotcha. So we can find you everywhere. Regine, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you.
We're here with Cristian, the creator of Big Boss Gun for Hire, which is a graphic novel. And why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Great. This is my original character, Big Boss Gun for Hire. We had a 5-issue miniseries that's compiled as a graphic novel, and currently I publish an Instagram comic at Big Boss Comic, and it continues from the very last page of this book.
So the series is continuing on. It's not a sole series. It's part of a longer story.
Yes. Well, now it is. I didn't know. Once we did this, I didn't know where we're going to take it. And then I decided about 10 months ago that I was going to do a daily comic. So I do one panel each day, 5 days a week. And sometimes I write it as I go. Very Dickensian.
That's excellent. You were telling me before we got on here that you have a live-action trailer of sorts for this?
It's a live-action pilot. It's a 10-minute short film.
Okay.
That's based on this graphic novel and the character, obviously. And we're hoping to eventually develop it into a feature, perhaps, or a series.
Excellent. And how long has this been going on, this process with Big Boss? How long has this been part of your life?
Part of my life, much longer than I'd like to admit. I first self-published a graphic novel with the same character, different plot, when I was in high school 20 years ago.
Okay.
And that was back in Canada, and I started this back in Canada. And then this was published, I think it was begun maybe 5 years ago.
Excellent, excellent. Where can people find out information about this? Websites, Twitter, any of those?
The best right now is Instagram and Twitter at Big Boss Comic.
Okay, it keeps it nice and simple. You heard it here, at Big Boss Comic. Take a look for it. It's a very cool looking novel, and we look forward to seeing more.
Everybody, I'm here with Jason Quinones from Beer and Cookies Comics. Jason, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What brings you here to Inbeon Con on Long Island?
Well, you know, I just like the smaller conventions. You know, it's a bit more personal, a bit more intimate. You get to see a bit more of the locals. And yeah, I know the guy who runs it, Eric Hutchison's a good friend of mine. I met him at another convention, and this is his own convention that he created, as he says on the website. It's for artists, by artists, so, you know, I like to think of myself as a cartoonist, so I, you know, like to come out to these smaller conventions and sell what I got.
Yeah, you've got a lot of great artwork back here. Let's take a look at one of these. Maybe give everybody a little bit of info. What's Beer and Cookies all about?
Well, Beer and Cookies is just, it's all me. I write it, I draw it, I self-publish it. And it's just, you know, just my warped brain on paper. It's like my version of Mad Magazine, a lot of satire, parody, humor comics. So if you grew up on Mad Magazine, you'll probably like what I got to offer here.
Awesome, very cool. And I noticed, caught my eye, was the Ramones cover there. So tell us the story behind that Ramones artwork.
Well, the Ramones cover came about from an art show that I did maybe one or 2 years ago, where it was just a reimagining of vinyl album covers. So I chose the Ramones' Pleasant Dreams just because it was is a good starting point to reimagine that whole cover, because it's a little more on the simple side. So I just figured I'd just go crazy with it. So I just came up with that, you know, revised version of that album cover. And I actually, at a different convention, I actually got to meet Marky Ramone, who was making an appearance there.
Very cool.
I gave him the piece. He said he really liked it. He dug it. And I asked for him to autograph a copy for myself and for my wife. So
Awesome.
He autographed it from Marky to Kim and Jason. Kim's my wife, and yeah, it's now hanging in my studio at home.
That's got to be one of the best feelings. So tell the great folks at home, where can they find your comic? Where can they go to find you?
Well, you could find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under Jason Cartoons. And or you could visit my own personal website, beerandcookiescomics.com. Just not just Beer and Cookies, it's beerandcookiescomics.com. I know some people sometimes
I
make
gotcha.
that mistake.
Yeah, you heard him, folks. Beerandcookiescomics.com. Jason, thanks for hanging out with us today. We look forward to seeing more of your work. Everybody, we're here with Demon Boy from the Horror Rock Show and Comic Book.
Yeah!
Hey guys, welcome to Inbeon Con. What brings you here today?
Inbeon Con, great con. We were here last year, we're here at 2017, and we're having a hell of a time.
Well, I know you guys are just back on tour and you're heading back to Europe again. Tell us a little bit about the Horror Rock Show.
We do a theatrical horror rock show. We just got back from England. We're heading back over there in a couple of months. We're going to be up in Canada at Godfest. And you come on out and see the band because it's all about this live show. This girl here, Swordcha,
How you doing?
wields her swords, real swords at the live show. We get
Real
a lot of
fast.
our body parts that way.
And tell us. Awesome.
That's what we got those over there. Those
Tell
are
us-
my trophies back there.
Tell us a little bit about the comic book, Demon Boy.
It's a Demon Boy comic book series. This is issue number 2. We just re-put this out. Issue number 3 is coming out by the end of the year. This tells you the story of Demon Boy, kicked out of heaven, spit out of hell. He is the Black Angel. He's got the power to fly between heaven and hell, bringing lost souls to their destination. It is a great read.
Awesome.
And
Well,
you can see, there I am on the back.
looking good with the Gene Simmons tongue right there. Learn from the best, right? Where can everybody find you online?
DemonBoyBand.com, and on YouTube, Demon Boy TV, and I'm on Facebook. Everybody knows Facebook. Just type in Demon Boy.
Everybody, we're here with Chris Fehn from the 501st Legion. It's a nonprofit here on Long Island. Chris, tell us a little bit about your organization.
Sure, we're part of the Empire City Garrison, which is the New York chapter of the international group, the 501st Legion. Our mission is to build movie accurate costumes, and all our members build and put together their own imperial costumes, and then we use them in the community to do good. We go to charity walks, we go to community events, libraries, and we make hospital visits like at the Stony Brook Children's Hospital out here on Long Island.
Very cool. You guys are a pretty big organization. How long you guys been around and how many members do you have?
We've been around for about 20 years. The Empire City Garrison's been around for about 17 years, and we have about 7,000 members worldwide, about 75 to 100 in the New York area.
Very cool. Well, where can people find out more information and participate?
They can go to 501st.com or 501ecg.com for the local New York chapter. My name again is Chris Fehn. I'm the local Long Island event coordinator, and I set up all the events for the Long Island area.
Awesome. Very cool. Everybody go check out Chris Fehn on the 501st and help support local Long Island charities.
We're here with Kyle, Phill, and Lisa from the Sabre Guild Endor Temple, which is a non-for-profit organization that does choreographed saber fights for those of you Star Wars fans out there. You guys want to tell me a little bit about your organization?
Well, we're a non-for-profit group. We do choreographed lightsaber fights at cons, events, birthday parties, and it's all to raise money for charities. Specifically here on Long Island, Endor Temple, we raise money for Stony Brook Children's Hospital. I can pass you off to Kyle, who's our local area director.
Yeah, sure. So all of our staged fights, we practice safely. That's our biggest concern is safety, and we do trainings. So we have rehearsals, and anyone's more than happy to come and join us. We also do children's trainings too, so that's what we're going to be doing today here.
Excellent, excellent. Do you guys have a website that you can throw out there for us?
You can go online to sabreguild.com, and you can search us up, and you can see the various temples there. We also have Endor Temple, which is in Long Island. We have a city chapter, which is Empire, and then we also have a Jersey chapter as well. So we're all around the tri-state area.
Hey, I'm here with Brian from Dow Moon Workshop.
Hello.
How you doing today, Brian?
Good.
Tell us a little bit about you and your artwork.
I do stained glass primarily. I'm starting to get into photography, hence the green screen and photos. But I dabble a little bit here, a little bit there in art. And
cool. So where'd you come up with the name?
I was working in the physics and astronomy building when I was in college, way back when. And
we won't date you.
Yeah. No. And I was reading the Tao Te Ching, and I had to come up with a D&D character, so I put Taoism and Moon together and kind of made it work.
Awesome. So what is your artwork all about? Like, what inspires you?
It's a little bit of everything. It just, if I see something, it'll pop into my head, and I will try to make it happen. My recent piece is based off one of my favorite bands, Five Finger Death Punch. And,
awesome, love those guys.
And they got a song called Remember Everything, and the song is, I turned that into a stained glass window.
Very cool. We'll have to get a shot of that and take a look. You're here on Long Island?
Yeah, I'm out of Selden right now.
Okay, very cool. Well, Brian, it was really great to meet you. We got some fun that'll go on behind this green screen, so don't forget to check us out at hecklerkane.com. You want to tell the great folks where they can find your artwork?
DalmoonsWorkshop.com or on Facebook, Dalmoons Workshop.
Awesome. Brian, thanks for chatting with us. I'm here with Rich Dresden, creator of LuckyZilla. Hey, Rich, good to meet you.
Good to meet you, Sal. How's everything going this morning?
Everything's going fantastic. So what brings you to Inbeon Con?
Well, this guy right here, and this guy right here, and these people. I'm trying to make a living at this, and at the same time, I'm also trying to have lots of fun, because that's what comics are all about, right?
Exactly.
Sure.
I mean, it's a great spirit here. You can feel the fun in the air, so to speak. But
for artist, by artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And LuckyZilla is your own original creation. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about what's the character all about?
Well, it follows the adventures of ace detective Bruce Deodato, who carries a very special ace, a power to transform into the mighty LuckyZilla. He flies, wields electricity, super strong, super silly. He can walk through shadows and wake the dead. And he uses all of those powers, with the exception of waking the dead, to protect the citizens of Massapequa Heights and defend them from all the evils that plague them.
Massapequa Heights, so you're a local boy?
I am. Massapequa, raised. I was born in Rockville Center Mercy Hospital, but I've been a Long Islander my entire life, and I'm okay with that, I guess.
Awesome. So, guys, go to LuckyZilla.com, check out this great character Rich has created, and support the arts.
You know, just to say what all of this is about, you know, we live in this world where, you know, a lot of times we look at the difficulties or the challenges over the internal successes that we have. And if you're doing something that you love, all right, I promise you, it becomes nothing about money or work or anything like that. It's just you sharing your passion with the world. So
we're wrapping it up here at Inbeon Con. Thanks for everybody that came out and was a part of this.
Yeah, we're here at Inbeon Con Long Island. It was a great day meeting all these artists and creative folks. We learned a ton from Eric Hutchison, the creator of Inbeon Con in its 4th year. Don't forget to go out, support local talent, support local artists, support indie film. Thanks to everybody. Check us out at hecklerkane.com. And that's a wrap on this issue of the Imperfect Podcast.